We're going to investigate a couple of properties of complex numbers, and we're going to do it via an example. So we have u is 2 plus 3i and v is 4 plus 5i. And we're asked to find all of the following things, starting off with u plus v and then taking the conjugate of that and doing the conjugate of u plus the conjugate of v. So if we do u plus v, that's going to give me 6 plus 8i. The conjugate of that then is 6 minus 8i. If we do conjugate of u plus conjugate of v, that is going to be 2 minus 3i, and we're going to add to that 4 minus 5i, which is 6 minus 8i. I know it's only one example, but we might conclude that the conjugate of u plus v is equal to the conjugate of u plus the conjugate of v. And then we're going to do the same thing with subtraction, and you're probably going to guess this is not going to be very different. So in this case, we'll have 2 plus 3i, take away 4, take away 5i, and that's going to be negative 2, take away 2i, and then if we do the conjugate of that, so that one there was u take away v, and so if we do the conjugate of that, it's going to be negative 2 plus 2i. So if we do the conjugate of u, which is 2 minus 3i, and then take away from that the conjugate of v, which is 4 minus 5i, that becomes 2 minus 3i, take away 4 plus 5i, which is negative 2 plus 2i. So you might conclude modulus of, not the modulus, the conjugate of u minus v is conjugate of u take away conjugate of v. Now let's multiply. So if I do u times v, that's going to be 2 plus 3i, 4 plus 5i, so that's going to give me 8 plus 10i plus 12i plus 15i squared, which is negative 7 plus 22i. So the conjugate of that is negative 7 take away 22i. Then if we do the conjugate of u times the conjugate of v, we are going to get 2 minus 3i multiplied by 4 minus 5i. And that would give us 8, take away 10i, take away 12i, plus 15i squared. Well, 15i squared ends up being negative 15, so that's negative 7, take away 22i. And it's just one example, but you might conclude that if you've got u times v and you take the conjugate, that's the conjugate of u times the conjugate of v.